Last time we checked in with SBF, he was just getting bail. Oh my God, it was so nice. I've been trying to make the math work on this one for a second, right? Okay, so his bond was set at $250 million. The record level for white collar crime or anything like that. I don't know if there's anything greater than that, but that's the record that I seen that it ended up breaking, okay? And that his parents put up their $4 million home as collateral, and that was good enough for bond. It's like, okay, cool. You go to the store, you get a cart full of groceries. The total comes to $200, $300 or something like that. And then you plunk down a 20 and everybody just calls it good. I don't know how the math works on that. Like, I know cash bond in New York, okay, it's only 10%. They still would have had to put up $25 million. Sorry, you didn't want to hear me scratch my mustache anymore. Christ almighty. It's very cold and dry outside right now, but it's snowing, so I guess we're gonna have a very, very, very white Christmas, I guess. Hopefully you guys too. And I know it's a big storm around the entire North America, really. It's just, hopefully it's nicer and warmer where you are, because it's another 30 below day up here. But that's what you get in the, just on the outskirts of the seventh circle of hell. But yes, as Wall Street Silver points out here, right, SBF getting flued out back to California in first class. Meanwhile, Julian Assange sits in a jail cell for being a real fucking journalist. Yep, you can't make this shit up, kids. And I thought the entire reason that his parents had to put their home, their family home that, let's be honest, he ended up fucking fronting the money for, he only had $100,000 to his name. Bruh. SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, fights FTX creditors over $450 million Robinhood stake. Oh, he's just going to use that money if he can get it to make all of the customers that he defrauded to the tune of $10 billion. Just use them to make them whole. Yuck. Bankman-Fried is battling to keep a $450 million stake in retail stock Robinhood. Okay, that FTX's new boss is trying to claw back an indirect crypto huckster, yes, according to court records. It's funny how many corrupt individuals are just strange bedfellows, because in early 2021, Robinhood really was in the crosshairs for all the meme stocks, right? AMC to the moon, game stonks, all of that stuff, right? They were the little by the people for the people stock trader, and they were being operated to the tune of $450 million. I wonder what percentage of the company that ends up working out to, especially now that Robinhood has taken such a hit. Might get more information on that. The ousted FTX founder claims he is entitled to the assets listed under Mergent Fidelity Technology, a holding company Bankman-Fried registered in Antigua. This guy has more shell companies and George Soros. Let's keep it a buck, okay? And if he has to write them all out, I would make sure that we double, triple, quadruple check that list, because he's going to be leaving some of them off there, okay? Especially the ones where he's keeping the $8.6 billion, sorry, just go ahead and correct that, because it's just such a staggering amount of money that, you would normally just default to millions if you think that somebody's running a scheme out there. But no, $8.6 billion that he cannot account for. Allegedly. He knows exactly where that shit is. Come on now. However, FTX's new CEO, John Ray III, who is seeking to regain billions in investor funds that Bankman-Fried allegedly swindled from them to prop up his hedge fund, Alameda Research, argued the stake in Robinhood belongs to FTX according to a legal filing. Well, yeah, if they've gone through bankruptcy and he is the guy who caused that bankruptcy, and that there's money still out there that belongs to people, they are going to have to pay all of that shit back. And if he bought it through, depends on how that shell company is structured. If it's afforded directly to Bankman-Fried, they're going to have to wait until the fraud trial goes through in order to get that money back. Or if he set it up through FTX and some hairbrain, there's been dumber things that he's done, like run his company's accounting on QuickBooks. But even still, if it's set up through FTX, then yeah, it goes directly to them and they can cut out the middleman on that stuff. It would just suck, especially because whenever, Bankman-Fried needs to plead to something, because I don't think he's going to trial, man. I think he's going to be getting a sweetheart deal. Matter is complicated further by the fact that two other creditors, a crypto lending firm BlockFi and FTX creditor Yotan Ben Shimon Oive, are also claiming ownership of the Robinhood stake. Okay, yeah, they probably also equally need to get paid. In May, Emergent and Bankman-Fried revealed that it owned a 7.6% stake in Robinhood. Okay, according to SEC filings, Bankman-Fried paid $648 million for the more than $56.3 million share in the app. Interesting. Okay, where did he get that money from? That would be of note as well. Like if he was using ill-begotten funds in order to purchase that, and then you'd have to figure out, okay, who actually owns this stuff. Okay, on Friday, shares of Robinhood were trading at $8 even. Okay, putting the stake at $447 million, a $200 million loss. Yeah, but that's not exactly a foreign concept to Bankman-Fried. He kind of sucks at everything. FTX, which has been placed under the stewardship of Ray while being administered under Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, seeks to freeze any activity in the shares with a legal battle playing out. Yes, and that'll be interesting because our next court hearing for him is supposed to take place January 3rd? January 3rd or January 4th? Do we got an update on that? I totally forget. Pluck your eyebrows. Unibrows are not allowed. It's something like, oh yeah, and there's Vlad Tenev, yes, and fuck. I think it's the 3rd that he's got to be back at the SDNY, Southern District of New York, okay? That's who's prosecuting this case. Or that's where it's at least taken place in under Fed jurisdiction, okay? So yeah, I don't expect anything goofy to happen out there, right? But the trial itself, if it ever gets to there, I don't know. I don't think he'll go to trial, but there's a couple of key witnesses that are going to be there to testify against him, okay? So I don't know if he's ultimately going to end up being the fall guy. Let's get a picture of that goofy little fuck here for a second. Okay, there we go. Okay. I don't know if he's going to end up being the fall guy for this or what it would ultimately really serve. But they got two key figures that are going to be testifying against them because they pled out. Okay, they were going to equally have three-digit long stays in prison if they were going to fight it, and they ended up getting convicted on all the charges. Everybody got charged similarly. It sure looks that way, okay? And the first person we're going to take a look at, okay, is Gary Wang. Who the fuck is Gary Wang? The mysterious FTX co-founder has pled guilty to the fraud charges. Here's what we know about the key player in the failed crypto empire. This is coming from Insider. Now, normally Insider's reporting is heavily fucking biased, but when it comes to stock shit like this, it's a little bit more reliable. Okay, Gary Wang, the co-founder of FTX, has been a mysterious but critical player in the rise and in the spectacular fall of the crypto empire. Throughout his time at FTX, Wang maintained a limited online presence and steered clear of media interviews, leaving the limelight to his co-founder, SBF. This was the smart dude. Who was it? I think it's a Theodore Roosevelt quote, okay? This was before, obviously, he become president or whatever. He liked to take the second-in-command charge, okay, because he has all of the authority without any of the responsibility. So he liked to maneuver like a modern-day woman. Wang served as the chief technology officer, so the CTO, at FTX until the exchange collapsed in mid-November, the company's second-largest shareholder. Okay, here's what else we know about the mysterious co-founder. Okay, Wang reportedly met Bankman-Fried at math camp. Oh boy, and then they just ended up cleaning up there. They got all the bitches at math camp. Yeesh. Oh, and the pair were at high school. Oh great, there were too many jocks at the chess club or what, or AV full up. Like Christ almighty, math camp. Whew. Okay, we're also college roommates at MIT and lived together in the Bahamas house that was home to several other FTX employees. Yeah, well, they all just walked around and fucked each other all the time. It was a weird place. After graduating from MIT with degrees in mathematics and computer science, Wang worked at Google. Okay, he was an engineer at the company, building systems to aggregate prices across millions of flights per Forbes. Okay. So he's actually like a smart man. He knows his stuff. When Bankman-Fried co-founded Alameda Research in 2017, Wang reportedly left his role at Google. Yeah, we're going to have a tech startup in 2017. The fucking economy was booming. You know a guy who knows a guy who's very well connected. Why not try to make a bunch of fucking money? And they were successful. for a minute. Wang later became the CTO at FTX, establishing himself as a key member in the crypto empire's inner circle. Tight group of executives reportedly included Wang, Bankman-Fried, Ellison, who was formerly Alameda CEO, and Nishad Singh, FTX's former director of engineering. I don't know much about Nishad Singh, but we got some more information on another one of those people here in a minute, but after we do, the cleanup on Wang here. Clean up on Wang. Ugh. Okay, Singh, who was mentored by Wang, once described him as brilliant beyond belief in a 2020 podcast cited by Sydney Morning Herald. But at FTX, Wang was somewhat a reclusive figure, per reports. The executive profile picture didn't show his face, and he appeared in the company's systems, the block reported. Sources told the publication that he was one of a few employees who worked from home and liked to get stuck in coding. Yeah, he's got a math degree and a computer sciences degree. Like, this motherfucker is... Remember that picture of Elon Musk standing around with all of the people left at Twitter? He wouldn't look dissimilar to anybody in that picture. I'm just saying. Just tell me what to do and leave me alone. I like this guy's attitude, man. Just sucks he got caught up in this scheme. Fraud charges and a guilty plea. So what was he facing? What was Wang going to be facing? Unlike his co-founder, Wang was largely disappeared from view since he was fired from FTX after the company's implosion. Beyond Bankman-Fried telling Vox reporter in November that Gary is scared. I would imagine so, for very good reasons. He knew exactly what the fuck was going on. He was the numbers guy. He was the CTO. He knew all of the fucking inner workings out there. He wasn't, rubbing shoulders with the Clintons or the Biden administration, man. He was in there. He was in the trenches trying to make this a solvent fucking company. Unfortunately, he didn't exactly have the most support. On Wednesday, the U.S. Attorney of the Southern District of New York announced that both Wang and Ellison have pleaded guilty to fraud. Wang had been charged with a multi-year scheme to defraud equity investors in FTX by the Security and Exchange Commission. The pair are said to be cooperating with prosecutors, according to a statement from U.S. Attorney Damian Williams. Yes. So, okay. Wang got a plea, he got a plea deal. But you could kind of sympathize with his position, right? Oh, he got brought over. Okay, he was working with his friend, right? They were just going to set up this company, and fuck, it worked for a long time. FTX was, if not the top, one of the top two currency exchanges out there, right alongside Binance. Okay, like they were duking it out up at the top. Now, the deeper that you look into FTX's business practices, oh boy, it gets a bit sketchy. But as for the platform working, all accounts say that it was a pretty successful platform. How much of that can be attributed to Wang? Wang. Nobody really knows. You kind of have an idea. You can kind of have a thought process behind it. But outside of that, that's obviously for the feds to figure out. And obviously, if they offered him a plea deal, maybe his charges, maybe his crimes aren't that really severe. Okay, he was running a multi-year scheme defrauding equity investors in FTX. Obviously, he had a relationship with Alameda. He would have known what was going on if he didn't speak up. Maybe that's why they offered him a plea deal. Okay, mostly because they're just headhunting Bankman-Fried. And who else is going to have all the goods on that? Well, the other person cooperating with the feds. And that would be his girlfriend. Yes, the haram enthusiast, the methamphetamine addicted Carolyn Ellison. Yes, the looker herself will be cooperating with the feds. So, well, this case, like another one that I wanted to talk about today, but there is so much news that came out today and so little time. It will not be televised. Fed courts are not televised. So all we're going to get is transcripts and court reporters relaying some information. It's not going to be all that great. So Bankman-Fried's ex-girlfriend confesses she knew her actions were illegal and had unlimited access to customer cash. Wow, Alameda Research was just working as a puppet that SBF was using as his personal bank account. Who could have possibly seen that happening? Bankman-Fried's ex-girlfriend, up until a time, and it's like, oh my god, how could you put such an adoring face in jail? That she knowingly engaged in illegal business tactics with the disgraced FTX founder and bombshell court testimony given as part of a plea deal with authorities. Carolyn Ellison, 28 years old, on and off, former lover of SBF, told the New York court that she ran Bankman-Fried's investment company Alameda Research and essentially had access to an unlimited amount of FTX client money. Ellison, who has pleaded guilty to fraud charges, says she agreed with Bankman-Fried to give materially misleading financial statements in order to hide the arrangement. she knew was illegal. Ellison, a Harry Potter fanatic, of course. Is there any question? Was anybody surprised by that revelation? Who lived with the former FTX founder in a $40 million Bahamas penthouse alongside Gary, let's just go ahead and clear that up. I think it's Gary. I'm pretty sure it's Gary, right? Yeah, it's Gary. It's Gary Wang. They all live together. 10 of them. Fucking place must have stunk so bad. Fucking nerds, dude. The trading firm, also founded by Bankman-Fried. Yes, Alameda Research. We know. FTX collapsed in November. Do we really need to go over that stuff again? Have we forgot? Okay. Oh, there's Gary right there. There's Gary. There's the SBF, and there's Carolyn. Is this all supposed to be a birthday party, or what? Or does just everybody not believe in the barber shop? They look like wigs, kind of look like wigs. And why isn't Gary or Carolyn wearing one? That's very interesting. Transcripts from Ellison's bombshell courtroom testimony were obtained by Daily Mail on Friday. And this is the only way that we're going to get any of that information out there, by the way, which wholeheartedly sucks. She also issued a groveling apology for her role in the scandal. Of course. I want to get to that. Come on, let's fucking get to that. Her testimony is a hammer blow to Bankman-Fried, who faces 115 years in prison over catastrophic collapse of the crypto exchange. Ellison also revealed Alameda funded several billions of dollars of its investments with money from external lenders in the cryptocurrency industry. When those investors asked for their money back, Alameda paid them using FTX customer funds. A big old Ponzi scheme. Ellison told the court, "Here we go. I was aware that Alameda was provided access to a borrowing facility on FTX. FTX.com, a cryptocurrency exchange ran by Bankman-Fried. I understood that FTX executives have implemented special settings on Alameda's FTX account that permitted Alameda to maintain negative balances in various fiat currencies and cryptocurrencies. So they had access to a bunch of different types of currencies from around the world. That's all that fiat currency, paper and coins. In practical terms, this arrangement permitted Alameda access to an unlimited line of credit without being required to post collateral, without having to pay interest on negative balances, and without being subject to margin calls or FTX.com liquidation protocols. Yes, just like that other shell corporation that bought all of those stakes in a Robinhood, or shares, sorry, not stakes. Yeah, man, that's what he was doing, specifically with Alameda Research. I understood that if Alameda's FTX accounts had significant negative balances in any particular currency, it meant that Alameda was borrowing funds that FTX's customers had deposited onto the exchange. Very interesting. She added, from in and around July of 2022 through at least October of 2022, I agreed with Bankman-Fried and others to provide materially misleading financial statements to Alameda's lenders. In furtherance of this agreement, for example, we prepared certain quarterly balance sheets that concealed the extent of Alameda's borrowing and the billions of dollars in the loans that Alameda had made to FTX executives and to related parties. I also understood that FTX had not disclosed to FTX's equity investors that Alameda could borrow a potentially unlimited amount of FTX, therefore putting customers' assets at risk. Yep, I agreed with Mr. Bankman-Fried and others not to publicly disclose the true nature of the relationship between Alameda and FTX, including Alameda's credit statement. Ooh, yeah, so she was responsible for quite a bit of this shit, okay? Did she even really need the direction of Bankman-Fried at any point of this stuff? Like, holy fuck, she knew everything that was going on. Oh, but here's her apology. I'm sure this is going to be a real tearjerker. I'm truly sorry for what I did, Cap. I knew it was wrong, and I want to apologize for my actions to the affected customers of FTX, lenders to Alameda, and investors in FTX. Since FTX and Alameda collapsed in November of 2022, I've worked hard to assist with the recovery of assets of the benefit of customers and to cooperate with the government's investigation. You had me in the first half, but you lost me in the second. Like, come on now. I'd imagine you probably feel sorry mostly for the fact that you're staring down the barrel of a lengthy prison stay, okay? But it'll be a club fed. It'll be nice. You might be able to shack up with Ghislaine Maxwell. It could be nice for you, okay? It could be a learning experience. You could pick up a new trade, I suppose. But you working to recover any of those assets, you know just as well as SBF exactly where those billions of dollars are. Like, just fucking stop it. You were the one who was responsible for making sure accounts were full with whose ever money needed to have in order to make those numbers make sense. So just fucking stop it. You know exactly where it's at. If you wanted to find the money, you could fucking find it. I'm here today to accept the responsibility for my actions by pleading guilty. Yeah, of course, so that you don't end up spending 100+ years in jail, maybe just a couple of weekends every other month. Bankman-Fried was released from custody on Thursday, so yes, he could go spend Christmas and New Year's with his family. Ellison and FTX co-founder Gary Wang both pleaded guilty on Monday to federal court charges as part of a deal for leniency. No details on that were provided. It doesn't look like specifically. That's all I want to know on this one. Bankman-Fried appeared in Manhattan court on Thursday. Yes, granted a bail, obviously. He spoke to confirm that he understood and charges in the bail agreement. Valued at $4 million, SBF's parents' home is an unassuming 5-bedroom house that Joseph and Barbara have owned since the mid-90s. $4 million in San Francisco? Yeah, no, the numbers make sense, but let's keep it a buck. All of these people, man, all of these people are uniquely unqualified to be doing the shit that they were doing. Like, we know the background of SBF's family, right? Like, they're law professors at Stanford that also did a lot of crafting certain policies and have also testified in front of Congress, especially in the realm of SEC and different financial panels. Like, these people are well fucking connected. Especially Carolyn Ellison's parents as well. Okay, we'll just pause that for a second. Fraudster's mom and dad are MIT economists. MIT. Who also went to MIT? Oh, Gary Wang and SBF. Interesting. Carolyn Ellison, who pleaded guilty to fraud charges related to her role with the FTX crypto scandal. Is the daughter of a high-profile economist at Massachusetts Institute of Technology. According to his curriculum vitae, his CV, a nice fancy way of saying resume, Ellison's father, Glenn Ellison, was educated at Harvard, Cambridge, and MIT before becoming the Gregory K. Palm Professor of Economics at the latter. Yeah, these are all really accomplished people, okay? If you want to take a look at the people who you could be convinced into saying are running the world, like, these people completely fit the bill, okay? An absolutely charmed existence, okay, at the most prestigious of institutions, rubbing shoulders with all of the policy and tastemakers in the world. These people fucking fit the bill. Nothing to do with little funny hats or anything like that. Glenn Ellison is also an elected fellow of the Society of the Advancement of Economic Theory and American Academy of Arts and Sciences. Fucking yuck. Really attractive people, though. Sheesh. Ellison's mother, Sarah Ellison, is also an accomplished academic, armed with an undergraduate degree from Purdue University. Oh, she's a Boilermaker. But we don't like to talk about those lesser degrees. And a mathematics statistics diploma from Cambridge University, her profile shows. She completed a doctorate at MIT in 1993. Yo, these folks are ancient. Sarah Ellison is currently a senior lecturer at the department alongside her husband, well connected at MIT. How adorable. We were definitely exposed to a lot of economics growing up, Ellison once told Forbes. Yes, of course. And why do you think she got that figurehead position at Alameda Research and it didn't look all that improper? Take a look at her family. She's got good genetics. Just kind of lacking in the looks department. But when it comes to mental acumen, hey man, she should have been perfect for the job. Bankman-Fried, his family, oh man, law professors should have been able to run this swimmingly. But they didn't. This was just a bunch of privileged kids trying to reach above their means at the expense of everybody else out there with their greed and all of their willingness to just exchange short-term security for long-term problems in the crypto market, not understanding the system and getting fucking bilked by it. And, well, at least maybe potentially for one person, you know, these chickens have come home to roost. But for the rest of them, yeah, they just all flipped like a bunch of scumbags. You love to see it. But I don't know if we're going to be getting any kind of developments before the new year. And if not, well, I think this is a pretty decent way to cap off this specific story right here. And yes, if you're watching this right now as the video drops, I appreciate it. And especially giving me the opportunity to take 20+ minutes. I don't know how all of this shit's going to end up shaking out, obviously. But yeah, in on and around 20 minutes of your Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or even Boxing Day. Whenever you get around to watching this, I'm appreciative of it, okay? Given the fact that I promised this from a little while back. I said that it'd be 2 different videos, but really, Gary Wang, there's not much known about the motherfucker. It's a lot more about Ellison and her family and, you know, all of the interconnected swamp people that came together to make this catastrophe be such an enormous one at that. There's a lot more meat on that bone, so attaching Gary on top of that and, what's going on with Bankman-Fried right now, it was so much nicer and more succinct to put into one video right there. But I'm appreciative of your time on this, the holiday weekend itself. Enjoy that. Tomorrow I just got a bunch of meme videos. I might also cut another video because there's some other time-sensitive stuff. But more than likely not. Probably just be setting up my stuff. And yeah, I got a couple of things. And if you've stuck around for this long, I'll just go ahead and give you the inside scoop. I want to talk about the Kerry Lake lawsuit that got tossed out for very, very interesting reasons. That would have been slotted in here somewhere today, but unfortunately ran out of time, obviously. And then, yeah, I want to touch on something that I haven't talked about, but something that I was watching in the periphery. Tory Lanez going to jail. You don't know who Tory Lanez is. That's fine. Do you know who Megan Thee Stallion is? Yeah, unfortunately, you probably do. You've probably, in passing, at least heard a reference to WAP, wet ass pussy. She was the featured artist on that, okay? Yeah, there was some sketchy shit to go on in a courtroom battle, and the details on that are fucking sus, and it pisses me off on a bunch of different avenues. So I wanted to talk about that today. Kind of a goofy verdict ended up coming out late in the day yesterday, but we'll probably wait till Monday to talk about that. So enjoy your day. Enjoy Christmas. Like I said, got 3 videos scheduled out there for tomorrow. They're all just kind of funny, memey videos. Nothing's terribly serious or anything. But I got a nice background. I got nice thumbnails. Got a nice end screen. There you go. If you've stuck around this long, you can just take a look at what we got right there. I like it. I'm going to be using that as my go-to Christmas one going forward into the future. But to bigger and better things in 2023. I got a good feeling about that year. I got a good feeling. But we're still going to have regular scheduled videos Monday through the end of the I really only care about Christmas, so I'll be working every other day. So whatever, I'll be out there. I'll be back with you guys live if everything looks a little bit goofy tomorrow. They're all pre-records from like a week ago. So anyways, thank you all very, very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. And Merry Christmas, everyone.